Hey guys, welcome to Grace Face Jr. It's Pastor Shay here. We are talking about something new this month. We're talking about epic. We're talking about the epic stories in the Old Testament. It's going to be so exciting. Now, before we get into that, I want to talk to you guys about this awesome, really cool thing we have going on. Now, oh, excuse me, George. Go right there. Thank you, friend. Okay. Ooh, it's so big. I have such a hard time. Here we go. Ooh. You have a chance to win this awesome summer fun family bucket. Can you say that 5 times fast? It is so cool. There's so many great things in it. We got this bigger than my head tennis set, but some big ticket cool items is there is $25 to Cineplex online, so you can watch some movies together as a family. There's some really cool movies that came out lately, and $20 to Pizza Hotline. It's super cool, and you get everything in this really cool bucket. Now, you're wondering, Pastor Shay, how do I become a part of this? Like, tell me about it. How do I get into this? Now, we have a challenge at the end of each lesson. You're going to send us a photo to put your family in the draw. Sound cool? Now, every Sunday, you will get this chance to do this June, and when you do that, just by entering, you get a really cool prize. So this Sunday, when you enter, you get this really cool kite, which is super awesome. And then we also have a Frisbee. We have a bucket with a big smiley face on it. So you can collect them all. It's going to be super cool. All right, let's get into it. And at the end of the lesson, I will tell you the challenge to win our super fun family bucket. All right, we are talking about some epic stories from the Bible. This month, we're hearing about the Old Testament stories. God's people, the Israelites, wandered through the wilderness for, guess it, 40 years. It's a really long time. So, I have a question for you. What is the longest you've ever walked? Maybe you're like, I've only walked for 5 minutes because then my parents carry me, because I wish that was what happened. Or maybe you're like, I like to go on big hikes with my family. What is the longest? I'm sure you've never walked for 40 years. Now, we're going to learn what our big idea is, okay? We're super excited. Now, what we're learning about today with the Israelites is they walked in the desert. So I got a bucket of sand here. Can you see that sand? I'll make it nice and, there, you see the sand? All right, now our big idea, ready? Our big idea is I can spend time with God anywhere. How cool is that? We can spend time with God anywhere. We're going to learn about how the Israelites spent time with God and what they did and how cool it is. Okay, so I have a joke for you. Are you ready? What time was it when the elephant sat on the clock? Time to get a new clock. So funny, I know. I am a comedian. Okay, so spending time with God is one of the most important things we can do, and we can do it anytime and anywhere. So our big idea is I can spend time with God anywhere. Can you say that with me? I can spend time with God anywhere. That's right. Now, we have our awesome story that we're going to watch, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. Does that sound good? All right, let's go watch that story together.
Hey kids, good to see you. Are you ready to hear a really epic story today? This one's about Moses and the Israelites. Israelites? The Israelites were God's chosen people, but they didn't always follow God like they were supposed to. Today's story begins at Mount Sinai. Moses was their leader, so God gave Moses a list of 10 commandments, or rules. God gave them rules like, I'm the only God you should worship, and don't hurt each other, and don't steal from each other. God wrote these rules down on pieces of stone, and the Israelites agreed. But the Israelites weren't very good at obeying God's rules. Before long, they began setting up other gods. And because of this, there was a separation between them and God. But God wanted to be close to the Israelites, so God gave them plans for a special building called a tabernacle. The tabernacle was special because God was going to live in it and be near to them every day. Even though they'd mess up, the Israelites wanted a place to spend time with God, so they started building. They brought their prized possessions like jewelry, gemstones, fine fabrics, and threads. Those who were able to help with the work did exactly that. The Israelites built and built until finally, one day, the tabernacle was done. God's presence came down to them and looked like a big cloud. The people could actually see God's presence. How cool is that? When the cloud moved, the people did too, following wherever God led them. You might not have a tabernacle, but that's okay. Because of Jesus, you can spend time with God anywhere. At church, at home, at the park, or in the car. It doesn't matter where we are. You and I can spend time with God.
Welcome back. I'm so excited. That was a great story. The Israelites were a group of people in the Old Testament who were known as God's people. They had been wandering around the wilderness for a long time and felt like they were just walking in circles with no direction. So God gave their leader Moses instructions for them to follow. One of these instructions was for the Israelites to build a tabernacle. Can you say that word with me? Tabernacle. That's an interesting word. A tabernacle is like a special tent, and the Israelites were able to carry it with them as they traveled. It was a place where the Israelites could go to spend time with God. Here's some examples of the instructions God gave the people. Now, I have a bunch of pictures over here. Here we go. Are you ready? Make some curtains of fine twisted linen of yarns of blue, purple, and deep red. So, curtains of blue. Use gold clasps to hold the curtains together. Some gold clasps here. Look at that. We are on our way to build a temple. Now, guess what else? Weave pictures of angels with wings in the curtains. Join them together to make walls. That's pretty cool. So they made pictures of angels in the curtains. Make a tent around the curtain with, guess what? Guess what it said? With goat hair, right? How cool is that? Goat hair is actually like pretty strong. I feel like it's not super long, so that's pretty wild. But they made walls out of goat hair. That's pretty crazy. Make frames of wood and silver base. Okay, there we go. We've got wood and silver base over there. There we go. Nice and good. All right, I lost my picture. Okay, the tabernacle. Now, I have a question for you. What do you think the tabernacle looked like? Do you think it looked kind of like a church? Do you think it looked like maybe a big tent? That's what it did. It looked like a big tent. And it was an awesome place for them to go and spend time with God. So altogether, these things created a beautiful tabernacle for the Israelites for when they wanted to talk to God. Each time they stopped in their travels to rest, they would put up the tabernacle. This reminded them that God was with them wherever they went. Now remember, our story is from the Bible, right? So in your own Bible, you can find this amazing story. Now, we're going to talk about something. Do you have blocks? Do you have something that you can make a tower with? Maybe you have some cups or something. You're going to make a towering tabernacle. God gave the Israelites specific instructions on how the tabernacle should be built. Today, we're going to build some tabernacles of our own. Now, you guys are going to take and try and build them as tall as you can. Now, I'm sure the tabernacle in our story was really big too. But you're going to try and build it as tall as you can before it falls. Okay, you can pause this video and do that and then come back and we'll pray and talk some more. Sound good? All right, welcome back if you unpaused it. Now that we've built our tabernacles, we know that we can see how great the structure is. And I'm sure it took you guys like 10 seconds to build those really cool tabernacles. But it probably took them a lot longer because they had a lot to do. Now, we're going to get into prayer. Does that sound good? We're going to put our hands together because who are we focusing on? God. And we're going to close our eyes because who are we focusing on? Focusing on God, that's right. We're going to thank him for the amazing story that we learned today. So let's do that. Dear God, we thank you for always wanting to spend time with us and for giving us instructions when we need them. Help us to spend time with you anywhere we are. In your holy mighty name, everyone said, amen. Awesome. Give yourself a high five. We learned some great things. Now, we have a memory verse. This is so important Who here knows that memory verses are so important? Put your hands up real high, real high. Okay, so our Bible verse is from 1 Samuel. We got our Bibles. It's from 1 Samuel 12. Here we go. 1 Samuel 12. I lost it. Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay. 1 Samuel 12:24. It says, "But be sure to fear the Lord and serve him faithfully with all your heart. Consider what great things he has done for you." Now, the farther we are from God, the harder it is to see God. But when we spend time with God, we can learn what God wants us to do, and we can spend time with him anywhere. That's right. Now, let's read that again together. But be sure to fear the Lord and serve him faithfully with all your heart. Now, it doesn't say be afraid. It's like to respect, to see the Lord as someone who is so powerful and so amazing, and we want to fear how big and awesome he is, and we want to see that, and we want to serve him, right? Because we know how loving he is to us, and we also know how big his power is. So we want to serve him with all of our heart and consider what great things he has done for us, like sending his son Jesus, right? And creating us and creating this amazing world. So we fear God not because we're afraid. Like, I'm afraid of bees, but that's not the same fear I have when I think of God. I think of God as big and respectful and amazing. And that's why I fear him, because he's so big and he created everything. He has amazing power. Does that kind of make sense? I think it does. Now, the farther we are from God, the harder it is to see God. Man, that can be so hard. Guys, we want to read our Bible. We want to pray. We want to worship God with our voices because we love him so, so much. Okay, guys, I love learning with you. Oh, Frank and George, come back here, guys. Jeez, they're running away. Okay, Frank and George, are you ready to hear the challenge of the week? Are you ready? You can send this in to my email. Parents, if you're listening to this, it's shay@gracewinnipeg.ca, or you can send it in to us on Instagram. Maybe if you have me on Facebook, tape it to the wall, whatever you need to do. Like pigeon carrier, send it in. All right, this is your challenge. Are you ready? Are you ready? We're ready to make a fort. Now, we talked about how the Israelites made a tabernacle, a tent where they could spend time with God. Your challenge this week is to make a fort. Maybe it's a pillow fort. Maybe you have a tent and you decide to put it up in your living room. Maybe you make a tent or a fort for your stuffed animals. Whatever you do, take a photo of it, take a video of it, send it in to us, and your name will be put in for this awesome, awesome prize. Now, next week, for the whole month of June, we are giving you a challenge to put in your name, and one random name will be drawn. So you will have 4 chances to get this awesome prize. Now, don't forget, our senior Grace Base is also doing this, so you want to make sure you get your name in, because there's going to be so many friends who will put their name in. Sound good? All right, I'm so excited to see the awesome things that you guys have planned and your awesome, cool forts. All right, guys, have the best week. We love you so much. Can't wait to see you next week. Bye!